Folks, it's not unusual at all for a person to go to 10, 12, 17, even 20 auctions. I've got a guy that lives just outside of Tampa, Florida. He went to auction for 3 months, but when he finally bought the property he wanted, made over $100,000. That's what you want. All counties across the United States sell tax deeds. If you want to find auction rules, they're always at the county. All the rules are made by the legislature of the state. First of all, they're going to tell you, when is the auction? So they're going to tell you, they're going to say, what are they going to auction? Next thing you can find out, is there a mortgage on the property? There's a long list of things that you could find. So I could sit here and rattle them all off, but what you need to do is you need to go to the county records, find that information, or believe me, I have an interactive map that'll help you do that too.
Ted, you've shown me lists as big as 500 plus properties. What are some of the tips to consolidate the list?
I'm going to Los Angeles auction where there's 2,500, or if it's a small population county, it might only be a dozen or maybe 100 properties that they're going to auction. You want to first get the information, then you want to narrow it down. So his question was simply, how do you know which one to buy? It's very easy to figure out which one you want to buy. How much money do you have? It's no sense in you looking at $1 million properties on this list. Why would you look at a $1 million property? You're not even going to be able to bid. You're not even going to have enough for a down payment on that. So you want to first find out how much money you have and then look for properties that are within your price range. That's the easiest way to get started.
Well, right, Ted. So let me ask you this. How many properties do you recommend people narrow this list down to?
All right, so if you go to that auction, and let's say there was 100 or 200 properties, don't just look at one. What if someone comes along and buys that one? I would look at 10 or 20 properties at least, because there's going to be other bidders. This auction is not being held just for you. It's open to the public, and anybody can bid at the auction.
All right, now it's auction time. So, Ted, what tips do you have for the viewers today that can really help them get their first tax deed property?
First of all, don't go to any auction until you've looked at the property. If you haven't looked at the property, just go to the auction, leave your money at home, and observe. So I do recommend my students you want to go to a tax delinquent property auction, good idea. Go there and just look. Leave your money at home. Just watch and see what takes place. It'll be a real educational experience. All right, now if you're going to buy a property, that means you have to look at it. You wouldn't marry the woman unless you had seen her. And ladies, you wouldn't marry the guy unless you had seen him. It's not going to happen. It's the same way with the property. Don't go and start raising your hand and just hope and pray that's going to be a good property, because it won't be. What you really need to do is you need to look at the property. I don't know if there was a flood. I don't know if there was a hurricane. What if there was a fire? What if there's a windstorm? I don't know if the property is good or bad, and neither do you. So first you have to look at the property. Secondly, you need to make sure that if you looked at it, that it's saleable. If you can't sell it, you bought it at auction, you might have got it for pennies, but what if it's in a bad neighborhood? If you can't sell the property, don't buy it. So lesson number one, be sure that you've looked at the property. Lesson number two, don't buy any property that you don't know what you can sell it for. Now from there, we could go on and give you 14 weeks of class if you want, but the point is, if you haven't looked at the property, don't even dream about showing up at the auction, except to be an observer.
Oh, that's awesome, Ted. Hey, folks, if you have any questions for Ted, his research team monitors the comments below this video, and you'll definitely get the answers. Ted, you had mentioned something about a calendar. It'd be really good to have a calendar where everybody knew where the auctions were, what time of year they are, how frequently, what times, locations, etc., the counties. Would you tell the folks a little bit more about that, please?
Okay, nationwide, the states and the counties do a very good job. And what they do is within their county, they are going to advertise that they have properties for sale. For example, this is a newspaper that's just filled with, in this case, tax lien certificates. So there's actually no pictures in this newspaper. It's just a long list with tax lien certificates. So let me turn it around so you can see it. All right, so there's hundreds, actually thousands. In this newspaper is about 35,000 tax lien certificates. For example, here's a brochure from Franklin County in New York. And in this brochure, they're going to tell us, Franklin County is just a little county, they're going to tell us about properties for sale. All right, so you can go out, call the county, or you can call the auctioneer, or you can call the treasurer. You can call any of those places or write them a letter or send them an email and ask them if they will provide you with a list of the properties that are available. Now, here's your challenge. Okay, there's over 3,000 counties in the United States, and there's another 1,700 municipalities. Can you imagine how big your stack is going to be? Your stack is going to fill the room. So what I basically did is a calendar of the United States with all the counties. And then you'll see white circles on the map. And when you see that, you can go to the white circle with your cursor, and there is a county that's going to have an auction. All right, so that map changes every single day. So if you come back tomorrow, look at it, it'll be different than that. Same map, but different little white circles where these auctions are taking place. So we created that just to give you an idea of how big and immense and how much abundance there is in the tax lien and tax deed business. All right, so tax deeds are sold online, they're sold offline. Okay, these are just delinquent properties that someone has forfeited and the treasurer wants to sell to you at auction.